Good morning, welcome to Satsang. It looks it's only possible to be at rest, the soul at rest, when one is freed from beliefs. Freed to be enslaved from a belief. And that's why this is a very wise advice that you can hear in the tradition and which is still alive. Neti neti. It's not this, then you find something else. It's not that. It's not this, it's not that. So, if you already heard, in this world of appearance, there will be no, it is hell and paradise, or paradise and hell, because it's dual. It doesn't mean that when you do that, you will be in paradise inside. It's also not this. Freed from beliefs. Freed from an expectation of catching or attaining a belief. That's the most precious. As long as there is a in and out, the indication neti neti is very, very wise and efficient. Of course, what I said just concerns the search of being, the search of ontological search, not a search of well-being in this world. It's not for that, this indication. And let's say when the search, the ontological search is over, it doesn't mean that the life is no more dual. The life will appear still dual, sure. Then what? But there is a consequence, even in the life, dual life, is that you don't have that search anymore, which is a big thing for those who have it. And one knows what's what. So if there is still a search, if there is still something missing, express it. Because you see, whatever looks like a problem about that search, it can vanish also at once, since it points out to what is already here. But yeah.
Good morning. What I can see is, by being in satsang with you, this strong sense of being a separate entity, like of being someone,
Okay.
is not always there anymore so strongly. It's more the sense of it being a movie is more often present, as you say. But this is also not what you're pointing to, right?
Well, it's good to know that this where we are, where we live, it's a movie. It's good to know. But you know, it has to, that knowledge has to come, but it has not to be worked out. You have not to repeat that again and again, unless when you see it's a movie, you don't give a split second to the seer, to what allows all this to appear and disappear. And of course, once this is realized, life goes on, and in the movie you are identified as well as not identified. This is the play of the movie. But it doesn't make rise a search. So you can feel I am somebody. Of course, if you look at this, I feel I am somebody. Of course, there is nothing wrong with that. But do you confuse yourself? Do you confuse a background which is not personal at all with the belief that this feeling should not appear anymore? Because then you speak of two things. Or you speak of the individual, which can have so many different experiences, like feeling and not feeling an individual. Or you just speak, try to speak at least, from where you are, and there the individual is not considered. Let him feel or not an individual. So, if it is still comes that I feel to be an individual and I know neti, it's not it. When you don't feel, you know it too. It's not it. You may play a little bit with that, or at once just it's enough to see that. Hmm? You see, the experience not to feel an individual is looks more real even when you experience that than all the rest. And often it is mistaken for what I am. But there is a huge consequence, because if you mistake that, which is never of everlasting experience, it will go to leave place to the other one, then you will be in a constant utopia to think one day it will always be like that, which is impossible, because it's still somebody who has this experience. So it will always be temporary. Okay? So you can stop searching. And if it rises, you know it's the search. It may just fade away. Or not, but you know what it is.
Because even the sense of not being somebody is already also some kind of expression.
Of course, great, you see that. So you understand when I say it's still an experience of someone. So what do you expect? That it is more true than the other experience? Freed from beliefs. Freed from beliefs. Only like this you are at peace. Yeah. And you will never be able to catch what it is, but you are at peace.
Sometimes the sense comes that the mind wants
Sure.
wants to, but then it's
Possess
just
it.
also a passing
Yeah,
state.
sure. Because the mind is appeared in this appearance. And in this appearance, that is how he functions. He knows things. And if he doesn't know, he likes to know. It is his way. It is his way. So his ways are like this for the outside world, but his ways are like this for the inside world too. Still the mind. Hmm?
And because the mind can't catch it, it says, I don't know it.
Yeah, exactly.
But we just have to see that this is also just the mind.
Yes, exactly. It's the mind who doesn't know. Yeah. Because you see, the mind is very tricky. For example, I don't know what Buddha says, but I guess he said what I understand, I don't know. When he spoke of emptiness, he replaces, he didn't mean that, but I mean, if you take emptiness as the goal, or the fullness, as what you will be rewarded by that search, it's still a paradise. It's still something promised. Actually, it was emptied of beliefs. That's different. It's a pointing then. So, whosoever tells, of course, it will not be said in those gross words, you will attain emptiness or you will attain bliss, complete, unconditional love all the time. Kick them. It's again a promise. It's again a belief. You are at rest when you are freed from beliefs. Here everybody chooses his path. And the life flows. It's span of life.
I guess it has to sink really deep that it will never be experienced, what you say always. This has to be very, very clear, right? I feel it.
It can be clear now. It can be clear now. Maybe your attachment to some concept makes you speak like this. Otherwise, and on top, it makes you suffer. If you bind yourself even for this inner reward, you see, as an individual, I will live this duality in a different way, or whatever promise is there. You will suffer because it's never attained. So do you want to suffer more or again about this subject? No. 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 That's enough. That's it, you know. You know what it is not. You know what it is not. Yeah.
Morning.
Good morning.
So life flows.
Yeah.
So there's nothing we can do. If we have fire inside,
If we have,
fire
yeah.
inside, good luck. And if we don't, that's it. I mean, it's like that, right? We have nothing to do, really.
Depends on what you search. What is your search?
Peace. Freedom. Freedom.
The fire made you hear this. Now, what you are, don't limit it as fire. The fire was the motor of the seeker to maybe hear this. So, in all this affair, who are you?
In all this affair,
Yeah, the affair of the life flowings. Who are you?
who am I?
Yeah. Because you still speak of the scene.
Yeah, I speak of the sin. Yeah.
Okay. Can you speak of something else?
Not really.
Great. Still it is. Still it is. You cannot speak of what you are, you can speak of what it expresses. You cannot speak of what you are. It's funny. To the world of appearance is more known if you explore so many directions which it gives, and if you dig, and if you want to know its mechanism and all that. It's an exploration of the mind, with the mind, in the direction of the body, physical, or the emotions, or the concept actualization. And here, as it is already here, it's about no exploration. No concepts, no beliefs. It's already here as an essence. So be just absolutely clear about this. It helps. And both are absolutely valuable. It's just a different search, which in fact they both can go together if you don't mix up and make a goulash or ragu out of it. One is in the manifestation for a better well-being. The other is just being. For being, you don't need any quality and all that. You are already it. So it's just a split, sudden realization. For the well-being, it needs work, transformation, this and that.
Yeah, hi. I just want to say, I love that you speak the language of inquiry. And I just want to express to you there's a whole other level that I feel here, which is being very, very at home. And it really is like burning and opening in the heart center. And I don't want to give importance to it as an experience so much, but just this, there seems nothing necessary in terms of a search or a concept in this. But it's a very powerful heart opening, a lot of love, and I mean, I know last time you got angry at me for being a devotee. It's not like that, but I feel so much love for you. I just had to say it. This much is allowed, I hope. And it's beautiful. It's not like a dependent love. It's not like, oh, I need.
Sure.
It's very free. It's wonderful in this way.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Satsang offers this moment, you see, to more obvious of what one is. Sure. It can happen anywhere also, wherever you are. But it's true that it's a moment where we always indicate that. That's true. That's why it's called Satsang. Huh? The company of what you are. It's a way to say. That's why we have met our master, isn't it? Yes. I love it, pristine.
It feels like you pulled, not you, whatever. This pulls the love for our master out of my heart to come up to the surface to be here. That the recognition, it's always there.
Yeah.
It's always here.
if you could be a bit sharper with your expression. Recognition is all right for me. I can recognition word, I can understand the direction, but still, you see, if somebody who seeks hears this word, it will be very confusing. Because who is recognizing what and so on. And that's what I am trying to shoot at, all this expression, which I can understand too. But if you are a seeker, it's very important not to be deluded by a pointing taken for a real thing. There is nothing like recognition, actually.
And recognition is duality.
Yeah, but there is no recognition.
Can you say more about this? I have a mental interpretation when you say it, so I'd rather...
I know.
Yeah.
But maybe you are lovely like this. I mean, do you really want?
Yes. Obviously, you see if there's any...
Recognition is fake.
Yeah.
It's not the right word. There is no right word, I agree. In that way, if you want to indicate, I prefer self-revelation, means it's done by itself. There is nobody there. And yet it can also be taken, as a concept. Yeah. But recognition, no.
So the clearer pointing is no concept.
Yes. Okay. There was a little loop. What for? The beauty, it's never recognized. This is the beauty. Oh.
Papaji's really making me laugh.
Where is Papaji now? You see, as long as you keep an image of yourself as a body and mind, you will bring with you the birds, the humans, Papaji, Ramana. Now, if you follow what the master said, means the master, the finger, Ramana, Papaji, for example, what can you say? Who you can bring with you? Who you can bring with you?
Nobody.
There is nobody. There is no Papaji. There is no Ramana. So satsang is to speak from here. And of course in the life we have a story with Papaji, Ramana, birds, humans. Why not? It is our life. But here don't bring anybody. And in my life I am most grateful. Don't misinterpret me. Most grateful to have met my master who was Papaji and Ramana in Nisargadatta. But I am most happy and relieved and at peace because they showed me I have not to bring them with me. Very good.
It's very good what you said. I think I can hear this more now than...
Of course you can hear this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the reason why we went to masters, no? Not to have a crowded heart.
Not to have
Not to have a crowded heart.
I just take the opportunity to share
Sure,
again.
very important.
Just came to my mind this sentence that I once read, and it really touched me.
Yeah.
The biggest vasana is to doubt yourself, is what it said.
Yeah, but that vasana doesn't exist in truth. That's what you are. It's part of the imagination to speak like that.
We cannot say anything truthful, right? We're always referring to the body-mind.
Yes, yes, I am so happy you see that. Yes, always. Extraordinary, huh? It's extraordinary. Yeah. That's why you see the pointing cannot stop there. Otherwise, what? Yeah.
Why do we keep listening to the mind when it's such a torture?
I wonder. You're not obliged. You're not obliged. It's your birthright to free yourself from that so-called tyranny. It's your birthright. Now, of course, the mind belongs to whom? Ooh, I ask you a question. The mind belongs to whom?
I don't know.
You have to know that. Who spoke of the mind?
To somebody.
Yeah, and who is that somebody? Sebastian! It's called Sebastian.
Ah,
Yes, it's important to know. The mind is Sebastian, the body is Sebastian. Whatever happens in his emotional heart is from Sebastian. All that is Sebastian, somebody. Vasanas, Sebastian, etc., etc. We always speak about this appearance of our body, mind, body, mind. We only speak about that. So, if you ask any question, generally it is to remove something of that someone, eventually being enlightened. Eventually. But then it is somebody enlightened only sometimes. Somebody can have temporary experiences of enlightenment, maybe according to his concept. Yeah? So in satsang, it's trying to point out to what's already here. And that you cannot describe, so you cannot say anything about that. Can you speak of vasanas from here? No, because it belongs to somebody. Can you speak of a troubled mind? No, because it belongs to somebody. So that is the background. That is the essence which makes that search possible. But who am I? Or is there something? What is there something else? All the rest is about well-being of somebody. Nothing wrong. But it's you have to know what belongs to what. And then it's of a great help not to confuse. The vasanas, all that, can still continue. They can be transformed if you work out all those things. It is still an attainment of somebody. It's not about what is pointed in satsang. Satsang is just to make you free. A split second is enough to make you free from any belief. Any belief. So the belief of transformation, the belief of somebody enlightened, the belief of a work, of practices, it doesn't count because it's all somebody. It's not about the essence.
If there is an experience, there's always a somebody.
Always tell me. If you have one without somebody, you tell me.
It feels good to clarify.
It's excellent because it's all about confusion or not confusion, because you are already what is pointed. You are already the essence. Everybody is that essence. So it's just a question of a split second of not listening to the mind, to the confusion. That's what I am. And the rest will continue. Well, you will not continue to search who you are, that's true. But all the rest continues. Yeah, it's coming.
Hi. Could you please point out what exactly is enlightenment from your perspective?
Oh, perspective is a concept.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very good concept to shake the belief I am ignorant.
Okay. And what is enlightenment then?
Nothing. Nothing that I can say. It's what you are.
Okay.
But not as somebody.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
That was short. Great.
I just wanted to say that about his question, I've also heard you say, or what I heard understood from you is that freedom from the tyranny of the mind, and I found that very helpful.
Yeah, it
But
is the same.
it
You can
stuck with
say.
me, yeah. That the mind is still continuing, but there's not this belief. You know?
But you see, who wants to be freed from the tyranny of the mind? It is somebody.
Yeah.
It is somebody. So all that is all right for a while. But after you will naturally ask, but then who is freed or who is clear? And there is still something which is missing, you see, because you mistake this attainment for what you are. What you are is untouchable, has always been, is here. All the rest are seen, lived experience in this apparent world. Yeah. You know, I come back to this image, very simple, and always I tell that one. But I find, look, it's like you can see the ocean with its waves, or with its global vast ocean. But once you are struck to see, oh, it's water, will you still ask question how the shape has to be, or more this way or more that way and all that? No. If you want to know what is, no. All water. Now, if you come back to the shapes and all that, of course, here everybody is free to transform things or not, to see things, or is obliged because there are sometimes circumstances which really are challenging, and so you have to see all that. But that is clear. It can be also done, of course, and generally we have to do something also with that, but it's all about this... about me as a person. Huh? So here in Satsang is not to confuse what is, since there was a search for it, with what was born. If there was not that search, you would not speak like that, you know. But for some reason, it exists also.
Now with this image, that all is water, you just said, and I feel it's intuitive to confirm right now that all the manifestation is also the same substance. Somehow it
All
feels...
is, that's why it
Yeah.
is said Advaita, not two. Not two. All
Yes,
is water.
it's clear for me that the manifestation is of the same substance, but
Yes.
that which is beyond the manifestation
It's
is...
not beyond, it's what you are.
There's...
The water says it's clear that the forms are are that. The forms are water. The water says that.
But that...
There is no beyond.
There's
Don't create a new beyond. It's because you are water that you can say the forms and the names are water too, are only water.
Because there's this idea that there's the manifest and the unmanifest.
Yeah, I know. This is the terrible thing. Not this, not that, okay. Yeah, I know. But you see, this teaching, this pointing, it's a way to teach. It's a way to hear. Oh, I am not only a form. Okay, but now don't fall into also the unmanifest. Whatever you can know, it's not it, okay? So don't try to understand. Means don't go in your mind now. For a while, you don't go in your mind about it. Otherwise, it becomes already very complicated. I am totally confused nearly with this. Will you understand what I say without making it a state? Better you say yes. Will you understand what I will tell you without making it a state?
Yes, because
Yes.
there's nothing
Okay.
to
Keep
hold on
quiet.
to.
Keep quiet.
Would you say that the water is the Tao?
Is
Tao.
the Tao? Why not? Yeah, I guess they spoke this way. Yeah. You see, the mind, he cannot explain better than manifested and unmanifested. It's true. It's as it is dual. It will explain those things like that, but it's totally limited understanding. That's why what you are cannot be understood by the mind. The mind disappears while going there. So, and it is said Advaita, it's not dual. You cannot understand that. What a peace. We are free to have a mind who say, I don't know, knowing in a different way very well what is. If you don't have a mind about this, you just are. There is no other possibility. And the mind cannot grip this. Otherwise we will fall again into a religion, you see. Manifest and unmanifested, and when manifested becomes God and what not, and then you have to, there are rules and this and that, and that's not peaceful. Be at peace just now. Be at peace with this surge just now. Life will make you enough busy with the mind. That's life. Be at peace with this surge. Thank you very much.